You're listening to Top 4, a new series presented by the GamePitch podcast.
Join hosts Brandon and Eli as they build gaming Mount Rushmores every week.
Enjoy topics that range from the best multiplayer types to the top bug Pokemon.
Catch fresh episodes of Top 4 every Wednesday on the Project Nerd Network.
And don't miss new episodes of the GamePitch podcast, dropping every Monday morning.
Let's get ready to rank. Hello and welcome to another wonderful episode of the Top 4 and More podcast, brought to you by GamePitch on the Project Nerd Gaming Network. I'm Elijah. I'm here with Brandon. What's up, Fran?
Not a whole lot, Elijah. How are you on this fine afternoon?
I am splendiferous. I am wonderful. I am great-tastic. I am so ready for this episode because we're going to talk about something really cool. Brandon, you want to tell the people what we're chatting about this week?
Elijah, we're chatting about next-gen games that we are excited for.
Which is exciting because we're both excited for the next gen.
Absolutely. If you joined us last week, of course we talked about our favorite features of the new consoles, and one of my honorable mentions was the foreshadowing of this week's topic, which was, of course, games that we're excited for next generation. If you didn't watch last week, why? What are you doing with your life? Go watch, go listen, and then come back here and let's talk about games. But yeah, we talked about things that we love about our new consoles last week, but consoles are made for playing games, so this deserved its own topic, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of cool things that I think we'll get to talk about. I have some honorables, but of course we want to let you know, if you've never listened before, we rank things Mount Rushmore style. We give our top 4 of any given subject. Like Brandon said, we picked top 4 next gen games or things we're excited for in this next generation. As always, we don't really have rules, so there could be something that I think that we'll both let's see how it goes when we get to that. Brandon, I think it's pretty obvious why I picked this or why we picked this. It's kind of we just want to talk about next gen and we want to be excited about it with everyone else. Should we just get to the honorables, or is there any other things that you want to touch on before we get to the honorable mentions?
Yeah, I mean, I guess just one thing, is there anything that you've been particularly enjoying playing on next gen so far?
I mean, I just play a lot of Destiny. That's really all I play so far. On our last episode, I mentioned I downloaded Gears Tactics. Oh, you know what? No, stop. Let me put that thing down, flip it, and reverse it. I have really enjoyed Tetris Connected.
Okay, cool. That's like the I don't know what that is. That's like the 4-player Tetris or whatever.
No, it's like this. It's the Tetris game that was VR. It was Tetris Effect on PlayStation when it came out before, but then they upgraded it, and now it's called Tetris Connected. And there's this really cool multiplayer mode that you can play the Tetris with. So kind of like what you were saying, it's not 4-player, but it's like 3-player against the AI, and it's really cool. And there's also the Journey mode where like you create the music with your Tetrising, and gosh, that game's awesome.
That sounds pretty neat. Music.
Yeah, it's also Game Pass, so free. Go get that shiz.
Oh, cool. For sure. I'll try it out.
Yeah, if you play Journey mode, I don't know of a way that you would be unsatisfied. Like, I don't know how you could be unsatisfied with that game.
I am adding that to my download queue right now. Thank you, Xbox Game Pass app. Thank you.
Gotta love it. Got to love it.
Yeah, for sure. So cool. That's pretty neat. Yeah, I played a little bit of Gears Tactics myself. It was a fun little 4 hours that I spent with it. I don't know if I'll beat it or not, but it was kind of cool. I played Miles, obviously. Loved that one. Astro's Playroom. Also, honestly, that Astro's Playroom is probably my favorite next-gen game right now, which is pretty crazy because it's like a...
Really? Yeah, because it's like a pack-in demo game.
Yeah. I want them... I mean, I know like Astrobot VR is a thing, but I want them to make like a non-VR... like full, $60 or I guess $70 now version of the game at some point in the very near future, because it is a it's a pretty competent platformer, man. It's a fun little romp, fun little like hour and a half exploration of like the DualSense's features and whatnot. In addition to that, I've also been playing Demon's Souls, which has been just really kicking my ass.
How have you liked that? Because I have never desired for that.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this on the show before as well. Like, I'm never gonna play Dark Souls 1, 2, or 3. It's just never happening. And I played Bloodborne a little bit, but never beat it. I do plan to go back to Bloodborne after I beat Demon's Souls. I don't know. Demon's Souls is cool. Like, it doesn't seem unfairly difficult, I suppose. Like, whenever I'm really stuck in an area, like I'll get frustrated and turn it off and play something else for a little bit. But then when I come back to it, I'll, struggle with it an additional 2 or 3 times. But then when I beat it, I'm like, oh, that was kind of easy. I don't know why I was like struggling so hard with that. I don't know. So there's a certain satisfaction to I guess that portion, that aspect of playing through this game or this style of game.
So it's the level of hard that you kind of like.
Yeah, like it's challenging for sure, but like I think one of the other big things is like the more or less like lack of like load screens makes the deaths much less punishing. I don't have to like, you know, pick up my phone and be unengaged for 2 to 4 minutes. Now it's just like I die and then I'm right back in.
And yeah, man, that's just a great thing about it. Like for real, like the next gen makes us able to just like play these games at like lightning speed, which really is just super enjoyable. I gotta say.
The most enjoyable. But that's enough about what's out right now or what's out in the past or what was remade from a game 11 years old. Let's talk about that new.
That good that stuff we can't play yet, which is actually I think maybe one of my more, and I should have brought this up in our last episode about disappointing things. It's just like there's not a lot of stuff for me to play because like I'm not getting Valhalla and I don't plan on getting Cyberpunk, so like I just really have Destiny and Gears Tactics to play, so there's not really a lot. But now there's a list of things that I can look forward to, so that's what this episode's all about. I kind of have a lot of honorables, so I'm not going to talk about them. I'll just probably say their names, but you want to go first?
Sure, I have a couple of honorables and then one dishonorable. I'll start with my dishonorable, and that's going to be whatever Ubisoft does next. Because just I don't know. I played like an hour and a half of Valhalla, and I was like, I'll just this one can just sit on my shelf for a little bit. Uh, and then Watch Dogs Legions came out, and then like 2 weeks later, it was on sale for 50% off on Black Friday. So like, what the hell? Anyways, that's my dishonorable. And then for my honorables, I have Cyberpunk, which may or may not be out at the time of your listening to this podcast. But at this time, I have yet to play it. So that's on my list here. I also have Fable, whenever that may exist. I've only played the first Fable, but I did quite enjoy it. I do plan on playing Fable 2 and 3, and I'm excited to see this franchise get revived. And then finally, I have Halo Infinite.
Okay. So those I mean that's a good solid list of honorable mentions, sir.
Indubitably, but let's start rattling yours off.
Yeah, I kind of did kind of a similar thing. So I'm just gonna say Forbidden West, Ragnarok, the God of War sequel, Deathloop, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, and then Ghost of Tsushima. See what I did there? Sorry, I hate myself.
Top 4 and more is canceled. Sorry, everybody.
Yes, Brandon's like, what a terrible joke. It's okay, bud. I still like you. I mean, you don't have to pod with me anymore, though. All right, well, it was a good one.
No, that's good. I like that. Anything else on your list?
Nope, those are all my honorables. That's it.
I cannot. I don't know what it is. I'm just gonna say I do not care about Deathloop.
Yeah, man, I love Deathloop. I don't know why. It's like my jam. It's all I want.
I like that. It looks like that. Almost like Dishonored in the style of gameplay that it's going for, and I really enjoyed the first Dishonored. Haven't played the second, but I get that vibe. But I don't know, something about it. I just can't quite get interested. But that's enough about our honorables. Elijah, shall we dig into the meat and potatoes?
Give us that meat. Give us that potato. Brandon, what is your number 4?
My number 4. So again, don't really have any rules. This one actually hasn't even been confirmed for next gen, but it's not out yet, and we know like next to nothing about it. So I'm just gonna assume it's gonna be on next gen. And it is Elden Ring.
Oh, okay. So Studio Ghibli, also George R.R. Martin, and the people who make the Demon Souls all getting together, putting that From Software blender to work so that you can, I guess, do more demon-y soulsy things.
Presumably, I didn't know Studio Ghibli was involved, But
Yeah. Miyazaki, like they're involved, and so is George R.R. Martin of Game of Thrones fame. Like, yeah, it's like a hot, sexy melting pot.
yeah, I mean, I was primarily excited for the fact that George R.R. Martin was involved, and that it was, of course, from the From Software team. Because even though whatever, we went through that spiel. Yeah, I don't know. It that alone seems like a fun and inventive mixture of two things that I enjoy, and I think I'll really enjoy Elden Ring. I'm excited to learn a lot more about it. Hopefully, we'll hear something about it at the Game Awards this year, because I believe that's actually when it was announced. Potentially,
Maybe, I'm not sure.
maybe it was E3. I don't know. It was one of the things. But anyways, that's my number 4, Elijah.
Yeah, I think like people have been clamoring to hear more. Like that one's like a meme right now.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, like people are like the whole like waiting for updates from Elden Ring is like, and then they just like are dying like on the lurch. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I get it. It's like the Cyberpunk being delayed of From Software games, I suppose.
Exactly. Yeah, you got it, man. You know what's
Cool.
up.
Nice.
It be that exact life. So should I reveal to you my number 4 then?
Please do.
So we might argue about like the
Semantics of it
if
all.
it's like stuff that's like still coming to last gen console, but the lead console is the new gen stuff. Like some of this stuff is just coming just because it is. Like they've
Mhm.
been working on it so long, and 100 million people have PS4s, so why not let them put a little bit of it on there? But my first one is Hogwarts Legacy.
Okay. Yeah, no, I get behind that for sure. Yeah, no, that one's coming to next gen. I mean, I think we're in a weird time where like see now I'm going off on a tangent. Whatever, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. Going off on a tangent. We're let's quick little side quest. Here we go. Um hey, video game makers, please stop supporting old consoles for years on end because it makes games worse. Um yeah. So right, so that one will come to PS4. Obviously, it'll come to PS5 as well. Sony, I think, stated that anything being released after like May of next year has to be compatible. Or I think anything released at this point moving forward has to be compatible with PS5. Um, but I'm sure that one, since it is still in development, I'm sure that one's going to be getting a pretty beefy patch for PS5, explicitly, so that it'll run better and look better and perform better, whatever. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think the at least 2 of the games on my list moving forward will be the same, where they've probably been in development for some time at this point, and they will more than likely be released on last gen systems, or current gen. It'll be current gen until everybody can actually like buy a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, because right now there's like 12
Because
people in the
stock and
world.
supply, yeah.
Yeah. Um, but anyways, yeah, I think so quick little story. My dad purchased Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War for me so that
Mhm.
we could play zombies together. That's what we do. We play zombies, me, him, and our buddy. He purchased the Xbox One version of the game for me. And since Activision are a bunch of money hungry cowards who don't support smart delivery because they're lame, uh, there are actually 2 different versions of that game, and he bought the last gen version, and it does not work on the next gen consoles. So
Wow, okay.
it will actually turn your Xbox Series X off if you have the wrong version of the game installed. Um,
Well, okay then.
yeah, and currently there is no way to upgrade from the current gen to the next gen copy of the game for like the $10 difference. You'd have to buy another $70 copy of the game for digital, at least. For disc you can pay the $10 to upgrade, but yeah, dog, it's pretty, things like that. And then of course, my whole spiel earlier about it holding the consoles back. I think developers need to stop supporting older consoles a little bit sooner. Again, I understand like not everybody's going to be able to purchase these new consoles. They're very expensive. They're very hard to find. But I think once we're 2 years in, let's just stop making games for older consoles.
Well, and I think that's one of the more concerning things, or something that might even dishearten you more, because I have put an entire burrito bet on the fact that God of War Ragnarok is coming to PS5. And there's been stories in the news where like the Jim Ryan, the head guy, he'll just be like, "Oh, we're not talking about that today." It's like, well, the reason they're not talking about that today is they don't want to discourage people from buying PS5s, because there's no way to me, if it's coming out in 2021, that God of War Ragnarok game was not in development already for PS4 Pro, and then they just decided like, okay, we're going to put it on both consoles. Like, they already confirmed that Forbidden West was coming to both, and then Miles came to both. Like, there's just no way. I do not believe in my heart of hearts that God of War Ragnarok is not coming to the last gen consoles, which, kind of speaking to your point, will make the game worse for you.
Yeah, no, I agree. You're not wrong. Like that's how it's going to happen. That's the way it's going to be. As much as I don't want it to happen that way, like that's just how the world works. Sony's got to make that money. It's just how things are.
Yeah, and like whenever Sony's super cagey about this stuff and they won't give a direct answer, like that's exactly when this stuff happens.
Yeah, for sure. I don't disagree at all.
Well, should we then move? Because we didn't talk too much Harry Potter or why I'm excited for that game, but that's fine because we went on the side quest and I'm good with that. So should we talk about your number 3? Like, just I like effing wizards, guys. Like, I just do. I would like to play this Hogwarts game.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, wizards are cool. I'm into that. It looks like it'll be a fun time for sure. We'll move on to my number 3. My number 3 will be short just because nobody knows what the hell this game is, and it's Starfield.
Yeah, you know what? I've actually been a person who's not really a fan of the muddiness or the color palette of a Fallout or an Elder Scrolls kind of game. I know they're great games. Like, I just know this, but they've never been my like. I always like the BioWare more third persony than first person type of
Yeah.
RPGs. But I do love and am still a sucker for space.
Mhm.
So I gotta let you know, Starfield on my map. Definitely love the logo, the way that like the circle becomes the L and everything else. So I got to tell you,
Yeah.
I'm all in on that one.
Yeah, this one I don't think would have initially made my list when it was announced,
Hmm.
but because of the Microsoft purchase of Bethesda and all that good money that they've got in their development bank now, I'm hype. I really hope that the Microsoft deal works out in Bethesda's favor as far as updating that game engine. God, please, Microsoft, please.
Maybe. Who knows? Probably
who
not.
who knows? Yeah,
I
we'll
mean,
see.
they're throwing all the money at them, so like some of that money better go to shoring up that engine, right?
You would think, but I guess we'll see. Anyways, that's all I really have to say about my number 3, Elijah. If you'd like to share yours.
Well, my number 3, and I will rage if it's not. Doesn't need to be this title, but it needs to be this premise. Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, yeah. Man, why isn't that on my list? I mean,
'Cause,
I guess because
bro,
it's not announced, but
yeah, it's not announced, but we know that like there's no way it's not coming. But also, like, here's the thing, guys: if you do not have Miles playable in this Spider-Man sequel, I might not play it. I might just go, nope, I'm good here. Thanks, guys. You effed up. Like, I don't know, or like it could be even wilder, and it's co-op, which would be even crazier. I don't think that'll happen, but we'll see.
I have said it before, and I will say it again. If I cannot play that game full co-op with me swinging around as Peter Parker and my buddy swinging around as Miles Morales, or vice versa, why do video games even exist?
Like, why do this? Why we do?
I mean, look, if Gotham Knights is going to be what they advertise it, where the co op is completely untethered and you can be on one side of the city and your friend can be on the other side of the city, there's no reason that they can't do that with Spider Man.
Yeah, and this would appear to be the first game that would only be PS5. Like, if this Spider-Man sequel is also coming to PS4, then just like stop making the console. Like, just blow it all up. Like, don't even make
Yeah.
PS5. So this one, I think, has to be exclusive.
Yeah. And they better release like a special edition, like black symbiote console, like PS5, so that it can match my red Spider Man PS4 Pro. Anyway, so when do you think that they'll make when do you think we'll get a release on that? Do you think it'll be 2022 or 2023?
24.
20. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow.
It's a ways away. They're gonna build it from scratch for this new console, and they're gonna wait. Yeah, I think it's because we're gonna get Ratchet from them next year, and then
Yep.
I do think that there will be a maybe like a VR title that they have maybe in the works that they haven't revealed yet. But other than that, yeah, man, I think it's this one. I think is 2024.
What was their other one? Was it Resistance?
Yeah, Resistance is their other franchise. Yep.
Okay. I hope we don't see a return of that.
Oh, poor Resistance. I like Resistance. I think it's better than Killzone. I think Killzone sucks, but
Okay. I've never played Killzone, so I can't speak to that, but
it's boring. If
fair enough. I mean, look, I think that they made like 2 or 3 on the PSP or PS Vita, so, that's where they send their franchises to die.
All right, pal. What about your number 2?
My number 2 is Ragnarok. You knew it. The audience knew it. Everybody knew it was coming. I love me some God of War, and yeah, I'm real excited for the next one.
Yeah, like I talked about it before. Like it's very exciting. We don't know if Cory Barlog is still working on it. He could be working on a new IP. That's what people have speculated, that he's working on a long canceled game from Santa Monica that was like this space game, and he may have revived it. And because people were basically speculating because he changed all of his Twitter headers and images and stuff to space stuff like NASA stuff. So everyone was speculating that, and he hasn't outright come out and said that he is the game director for Ragnarok, which is concerning because he's the one who brought that personal story to it, that like, he was becoming a father, Kratos being a father, like that just brought so much more to the game. So I do worry that it could be a waitlist sequel and just like more because they made an awesome game engine and systems and stuff. And I hope that they have the same kind of emotional or impactful story to tell within that sandbox again. But even if it is just that awesome sandbox again, that's a lot better than a lot of other games can boast.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I kind of hope that Cory Barlog is not directing Ragnarok, just because that guy needs a nap. um, I followed the development of that game pretty closely towards the launch, and yeah, I mean, he really put his heart and soul into that game, and it very clearly like took a lot out of him. So I hope he's resting. I hope he's enjoying whatever he's working on now, whether it's Ragnarok or not. And I hope if he's not directing Ragnarok, I hope they bring him back for God of War 6 or whatever it may be.
Whatever it ended up being. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, and it's like, I don't think that there's a chance that that game hits 2021 either. Like when they said that date, I was like, they had to have started this right after the other one. And like, it has to be PS4. Like, yeah, if it makes the date of 2021, there's no way it's not on PS4. But if it's like, if it moves to 2022 because of COVID and everything, then I'll be willing to just be like, oh, okay, yeah, then maybe it's only PS5. But that's the only time I will concede that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think we'll start seeing next gen exclusives until like very end of 2022. So, yeah, anyways, Elijah, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Halo Infinite. We're both in very predictable town.
I'm hyped for Halo Infinite. I don't want it being on my honorables list to downplay how excited I am for this, because even like that, what was it, 8 minutes of gameplay that we got not too long ago, where it looked like kind of open world, like, yes, give me that. Give me the grapple hook. Give me flop. For those who don't know, I lovingly named the ugly brute who the internet named Craig. I named him Flop because he's utilizing all 12 teraflops of the Xbox Series X.
All 12 of them.
But so,
do it.
Is there anything specific you're looking forward to about Halo Infinite?
I'm looking forward to the expansion. So there's some rumors that came out this week about like what the next what the next 10 years of Halo look like. And there's going to be 4 chapters in this Halo Infinite kind of side, or like not side universe, but sorry, this like Halo Infinite story is going to be split into 4 chapters. And so you could see it coming out at like a game every 3 years kind of pace, like 21, 24, 27, and 30. And that would, if it's all right around November or Christmas times, that might be kind of interesting to me. But they also talked about there being 2 spin-off games, one that's a Osiris, Fireteam Osiris game, and then Halo Wars 3. But the thing that I kind of like had this revelation on is that, holy crap, they bought all these studios. They have 23 studios. Machine Games or Arcane can make a third person Halo. And there's a lot that they can do in this universe now that really excites me, because like I don't like Team Osiris. Like I like Spartan Locke is boring to me, but like Buck is cool because he's Nathan Fillion. So like maybe they do a third person like stealth action game in the Halo universe with that Spartan team. And then maybe the crazy new things that they can do makes more sense in a third person game. So that's something that kind of got me excited. And then also just to know that like they do have a plan. They brought Joe Staten back in to kind of shepherd this plan. And yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, make more Halo. Like, yeah, like why is Assassin's Creed and something like Call of Duty, like Halo's at that popularity level or that cachet with fandoms. So why isn't there more content? Like at least every 2 years there should be a drop.
Yeah, no, I didn't even think about it that way, but I certainly hope that Microsoft gets some of these other studios to pump out some additional games with a little bit more variety. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. I expected Halo to, pretty much stick first person shooter. We never expected Halo Wars 2 to come out, so I'm really hopeful for a 3, because man, I love me some Halo Wars. But yeah, I agree with all of that. That's very exciting to think about.
Yeah, and I don't know why that wasn't a thought in my head that like other studios, like it's like 343 is the only one who can make Halo games. It's like that's not true. Creative Assembly made Halo Wars, so like,
Yeah,
let's make more Halo Wars. And the rumor with that was that like there was a dead or a space RTS that people were making that's kind of being adapted into a Halo now. So like if there's regular Halo Wars gameplay plus space battles, like that's an entire reason for that game to exist. Like I'm all in. Give me space battles with Halo, please.
yeah.
I like the War and the Star more than anything.
The War and the Star, for sure.
What's your number
more.
one, pal?
My number one is The Great Unknown, Elijah. I don't have a number one because I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of the stuff that we don't know about. I'm really hopeful for some new IPs from both platforms. I'll say even all 3 platforms. As much as I love my beloved franchises, Halo, God of War, all the other PlayStation mascots, all the other Xbox mascots. Like I love all of that, but I'm also ready for something new, something fresh. I'm ready to continue falling in love with new stories and new worlds and new ideas.
What a beautiful sentiment. But what a wrong sentiment, because the answer should have been Pokemon Snap 2, you scrub. No, I'm just kidding. That's a current gen game. It's not next gen.
Oh, you came at me so hard. Oh,
no, I was just kidding. You gotta sell the joke, buddy.
For sure.
I love it. That's so stupid.
What's your number one then?
My number one is kind of like yours, in the same way that it's the great unknown. It's out there in the great unknown, out there in space. It's Mass Effect. I'm a corporate shill. I need BioWare to make a good Mass Effect game again, and it's all I think about, and it's all I want.
Are you excited for the remaster?
Oh yeah, buying that shiz day one. It's a lock it up, replaying all of them again with those new textures. Let's get it. Getting all the achievements this time too. I love it.
I'm excited to play through them for the first time with these remasters.
It's going to be revolutionary. I think. I hope you really like Mass Effect. Like that will warm my heart.
I really feel like I will. Like there's no reason I shouldn't. Like it's space. I love space. It's a little bit of politics, a little bit of war, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's a lot of what I love in video games and entertainment. And I just never played it because I was real late on that ship, and then I started one, and it felt super dated. And
it was. I mean, like, not to. Yeah, you were right, sir.
But no, I hope that they give you a good new one, because I heard that Andromeda was not that.
You know how people are always like, "What's your hottest take?"
Yeah,
I kind of like Andromeda. It's kind of good. I kind of dig it.
Okay, I won't. I'm not gonna fault you for that. Like I like bad games, and I can't fault you. Never played it, so.
People love like people love to hate on Andromeda. Okay, this is actually my worst take of all, because
boy.
So yeah, this is really bad actually, because if you don't remember, like the stretch was like Breath of the Wild came out, and then so did Andromeda, and so did Horizon Zero Dawn. In the order I played them in was I played Horizon, then I played Andromeda, then I played Breath of the Wild, I think was the order I played them in. Maybe if that was the release order, I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. But I played all 3 of those open world games, and you know me, I'm not really a big fan of open world games. And I played all of those open world games all within the same like stretch of time, and I definitely enjoyed Mass Effect Andromeda's broken, terrible ass the most out of all of those.
Oh my god, yeah,
I
that's
know
the worst.
it's such a bad take, but I
That's
had
the worst.
the most fun because it was in space. I like space more. Also, I already like Mass Effect powers and bullshit, and like I like that game. I know it's not good, but I really like that game.
That's gross. Okay. Well, that's enough of this episode.
Oh, actually, I might go download Mass Effect Andromeda right now. Like, you downloaded Tetris this episode, I'm downloading Mass Effect. Let's go.
All right. Okay. Well, we're going to have 2 very different experiences, I think.
Indeed, sir. Indeed.
Anything else about next gen games that we're excited for, Elijah?
No, like, look, they just need to make a real Star Wars game. Like, we could have included the Fallen Order, or Jedi Fallen Order 2 on here, or like they just like revamped Star Wars 3. Like, just make a Star Wars game, guys. Just keep making Star Wars games. You know what I really want? I want Squadrons, but like a historical version where like you go to different battles and like you get to replay them, but like as like it's like a history class of Star Wars, and they just let you do those battles as the ships. Like, why not?
I would be very into that. Yeah. Side note, we gotta check out that update that they dropped with that new content.
Yeah. I think later in December is when the B-wing and the old TIE Defender are coming in, which is what I truly want.
Right. Yeah, you've been talking about B-wing nonstop since that game was announced.
Yeah, that's exactly what we
keep willing stuff into existence, Elijah. Keep doing it.
Cool. The death of the entire Kingdom Hearts franchise. Destroy it.
Woo! Spider-Man. All right.
As always, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks to Project Never Keep the Lights On. We're presented by GamePitch. I'm on Twitter at MarioRPGino, and Brandon is at Mr. Snow97. Brandon, take us away.
Thank you so much for listening to the Next Gen Top 4 and More podcast. We'll see you here same time, same place next week. Love your faces. Goodbye.